Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the second case of fluctuating or alternating stresses, components subjected to fluctuating torsional shear stresses. Last session we have seen how to solve the problem of infinite life when components subjected to fluctuating stress, but here in fluctuating we have considered only axial and bending stresses. And this is the case number 2 when components subjected to fluctuating torsional shear stresses. That means you can take the example of a shaft. Suppose in case of a the lift shaft, it is always subjected to fluctuating stresses or fluctuating load. And when you will find when it is going to rotate, the torsional stresses are going to induce in it, and so you can consider the case of this, the fluctuating torsional shear stress. There may be the possibility of such a type of stresses. So how to tackle such a problem, how to solve such a problem, how to design such a component, that we are going to see in today's session. So today's, the main objective of today's session to design a machine component which is subjected to fluctuating torsional shear stresses. Let us see. Last time I have already told you there are two cases when components subjected to reverse stress. And for reverse stress, again, there are two options. One is design for finite life and design for infinite life. For finite life problem, Ascent curve is the criteria. Infinite life problem, endurance limit is the criteria. Now today, this is the when components subjected to fluctuating or alternating stresses, there are also the two things that you have to take into account. That means in fluctuating and alternating stresses are having sigma mean as well as the sigma amplitude. Maybe in terms of load, maybe in terms of bending moment, maybe in terms of torsional moment, or maybe variation in sigma mean or sigma A. Because of this, it's a fluctuating stress. The magnitude of the stresses, sigma max or sigma mean, is going to vary. Based on that, sigma mean or sigma A is also going to vary. That is the important thing. That means in fluctuating or alternating stresses, there is sigma mean as well as the sigma A. That values we have to find out by using this simple equation: 1/2 of sigma max plus sigma mean, or sigma A is equal to 1/2 of sigma max minus sigma mean. In this way, we can find out the MB mean or MT mean or MTA also for torsional stresses also, or torsional bending also, or torsional moments also. The formula remains same, only the the nomenclature is going to use to find out the mean as well as the alternating or amplitude stresses. Try to understand. And these variation in this, or the the combination of sigma m and sigma a, or their presence having a impact on fatigue failure. How to tackle such a fatigue failure problems? For that purpose, I have already told you fatigue diagram plays the important role. You know very well, AC to AC, SYT is a Sudderberg line, then Gerber line, it's a parabolic nature, then Goodman line, it's a straight line joining SC and SUT. And yesterday, also I have discussed with you why SYT, SUT taken one sigma mean and why SC one sigma A. I don't want to go in detail further again. This I have put this slide just you have a the recap of the different the lines or the fatigue diagram that we are using, and which line is the best one to find out the solution against the component subjected to fluctuating load. And we are now very well Goodman line plays the important role, and it's more safe than the Gerber and other line because it's inside the failure point, and if compared with the other, it's a straight line. An equation of to solve the equation of straight line is the simple one, and because of that, we are going to use a Goodman line is the criteria. I have already explained this thing. This is just a recap. Again here, there are two modified Goodman diagram. One for two cases. One is component subjected to fluctuating axial or bending stresses. In last session, we have seen how to design the component for a infinite life when subjected to fluctuating axial bending stresses. And we have constructed, or we have modified the Goodman diagram into the modified Goodman diagram for axial or bending stresses. Today we are going to see the second case, case number 2, that is component subjected to fluctuating torsional shear stresses. That means when it is subjected to torsional shear stress, That means, the shaft, it is going to rotate, and because of that, there may be possibility of torsional shear stresses. How to design such a component when subjected to fluctuating or a alternating load. In today's section, our focus is on this topic, case number 2, components subjected to fluctuating torsional shear stresses. That things we are going to discuss during our today's session. Now let us see. We know very well, we have constructed last time the modified Goodman diagram for the component subjected to axial and bending. Today we are going to construct a modified Goodman diagram when components subjected to fluctuating torsional shear stresses. Now look at this. Because of these torsional shear stresses or shear stresses, SS the suffix that we are going to use it, and you know very well. I will explain this diagram in a systematic way. So now here on x-axis, look at this. Instead of taking the sigma or mean stress, I have taken a the torsional mean stress, tau mean. Try to understand. Then on y-axis is a tau A, or you can say torsional shear stress, or you say amplitude or a alternating stress, or a amplitude. You can say tau A on y-axis, tau mean on x-axis, tau A on y-axis. First of all, you have to draw these two axes. This is one thing. Second thing, what you have to do, you know very well. What do you mean by the Goodman line? Goodman line is a straight line which joins endurance limit on y-axis and SUT on x-axis. We have seen in earlier sessions also. Now here, I am going to locate SSE, endurance limit in CR, that is denoted by SSE. It's a endurance limit, only SE. Why it is, the suffix which is used, because it's a shear stress. The torsional shear, for that purpose it is used. You can write SSE. It's a endurance limit in shear, you can say, or torsional. Here I have written torsional shear stress amplitude, and this SSE means endurance stress in shear. Yes. Then on x-axis, you have to join with you. In general definition, I have joined with the SUT, but here I am locating the point SSU. Again here, ultimate tensile stress in shear, SSU. Again, how to determine this SSU? You know very well. If we are going to use, already we have used this, the SSU in case of while designing the rigid coupling and the flange coupling. Try to understand. Now here, the SSU means, suppose it's made up of steel material, you can say it's a point of IU, SUT also is equal to SSU also, no problem. But there are, some relations with SSU. If you are going to use the different series, accordingly you can use. This is the ultimate tensile stress in shear, SSU. The SSE is connected to SSU on x-axis or timing. You can say it's a Goodman line for this torsional shear stress. Try to understand. Then second thing, you know very well. Again, here I am locating SSY. So here yield shear stress. SSY means yield shear stress. SSY. I am going to locate on x-axis as well as on the y-axis. And again, you know very well the magnitude on x-axis SSY and magnitude on y-axis remains same. If I am going to join this line, you will find this angle is 90. You will get it's a 45, or this angle is also 45. Accordingly, you can construct the diagram. That means what I have done, I have constructed grid line, I have constructed Goodman line, but we have to modify this diagram. How to modify it? Because here, try to understand. Now in this case, when components subjected to axial and bending stresses, that time I have told you, when tau mean is sigma mean is equal to 0, SE plays important role, or endurance limit is the criteria. That's why I have located. And when tau amplitude is equal to 0, then SSY, SSU, that means problem becomes a static one. But interesting thing here, you can kindly note down what I am going to tell you. Torsional mean stress has no effect on the torsional endurance limit. That means it doesn't have any effect on torsional endurance limit, or SSE. Try to understand. That means even though if I am going to say its value is less or 0, the SSE is the criteria. So here it mentioned torsional mean stress has no effect on torsional endurance limit. Try to understand. And why? Because the torsional stresses are going to induce when it is going to rotate, and totally depends on the other factors. That's why it doesn't have the effect on the endurance limit. That's why while constructing the modified diagram, what you have to do from this SASE, last time how we have constructed the modified Goldman diagram for axial and bending 0 to SE to up to this Goodman line, then yield line, this, the area that is for the bending and axial, the modified diagram for that case. But in this case, if it doesn't have a effect, that means what you have to do, you can draw the line which is parallel to tau mean. It doesn't have effect. That's why from this SAC, construct line which is parallel to this x-axis. After constructing the line, where it is going to cut to this line, this point is B. So you can say now here, this, the O, A, B, and here C. O, A, B, and C I have written here, it represent O, A, B, and C. This area, it represent the region of safety. And outside of this, you can say unsafe region or failure of the component occurs. Now, interesting thing you will find, if you are going to find A and B or line AB, so while constructing this diagram, you have to take the care because tau mean doesn't have the effect on the endurance limit. That's why from SE under endurance limit is here, you can draw the horizontal line which is parallel to this x-axis where it is going to cut to the headline this point. Or you can say this AB, it takes the care of, I am going to mention here, fatigue failure. It takes the care of fatigue failure. But points which coming on this line BC line is the yield line. Yield line means it takes the care of the components of failure up to the yield point. Try to understand. AB takes the care of fatigue failure and BC takes the care of yield failure. Try to understand. This is the thing. And the point which comes inside it having the infinite life and on this border or the or AB or BC or outside this, so what is happening? It's a component is having a finite life, like the last case when component subjected to axial and bending. Try to understand. This is about this case. Now I hope you understand this diagram how to construct. The simple one, just from SAC, you have to draw the line. That means what is happening now? Interesting thing. We have to draw a line where the component or the failure point happens on this point AB or point BC. That is interesting one for us because if any point which is coming on this line BC, the BC line is a yield line, and you know very well what is the equation of a yield line. I have already told you for a yield line, you can use the equation of a yield line means it takes the care when or SS or you can say for this case or a yield line case, the SYT and SUT or SSY and SSU plays important role or tau max plays important role. And tau max, how to find out tau max? SSY upon FOS. That means problem becomes a static case and when point comes on this line BC, you can say yield is the criteria and when you will get the yield is the criteria is like a static load condition case or you have to design the problem design against static load. That means only the when the point coming on AB, that time it is the fatigue failure and that time you can use the equation of the fatigue failure. But interesting one, suppose point is X point which is coming here and what is the coordinate of this X, you will get 1 point here. Suppose I am going to write SSM, this coordinate and here this point is suppose SSA. But if it's on this line, you can say SSE is equal to SSA because it's on the same line. So that's why for a fatigue failure, SSE becomes SSA. Try to understand. It's a very simple equation that you have to use. But when it is coming on this yield line, you have to use the equation of line that is associated with yield line. Try to understand. I am going to explain these points to you. Let us see on the next slide. I will elaborate these things again here. Let us see. Look at this here. Now here you will find some observation from modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stresses. I would like to discuss with you. So no need to construct a fatigue diagram because what is happening? Tau mean torsional stress doesn't have effect on endurance or shear stress. And because of that, what we are doing from SAC line, we are just constructing a line that is AB, which is parallel to the x-axis, and where it is going to intersect to the yield line, up to which you will get the fatigue failure point, and after that yield line, when we are going to consider the yield line from B to C, that means if yield is the criteria, the problem becomes a static load consideration or static failure problem. So what you have to do, the fatigue failure is indicated when tau A is equal to SSE. How? Already I have explained from the diagram, because point lies on this line AB is having, if I am going to take the coordinate, that is tau A, and here another one is the tau M on this X, and here for Y this. But here if I am locating the points on this line means the Y coordinate SSE is equal to the Y coordinate of that point. That's why SSE is equal to tau A. Try to understand, or SSA in other words, if we are going to use the vector of safety. And for this line, SSY is the criteria. That means yield stress. The problem becomes the static load condition problem. That you have to remember. Try to understand. It's very simple. That's why what observation you have to note down. So when tau A is equal to SSE, that means when point lies on the line which is parallel from SSE, you can say that it's a case of fatigue failure. But when point lies on from the line B to C, that time what is happening? The yield stress becomes the criteria in shear, or SSY is the criteria. That time the case becomes the static failure case. And when it becomes the static failure case, that time what we have to do? We have to find out the tau max. And how to find out the tau max? Tau A plus tau M, or you can say simply say SSY. And again, how to find out the year SSY, you know very well. If SYT is given, if you are going to use the maximum shear stress theory, 0.5 SYT is equal to SSY. Try to understand. If it's a energy distortion energy theory, SSY means 0.577 SYT. In this way, so simply you can say tau max is equal to SSY, and SSY means 0.5 SYT upon FOS, or 0.577 upon FOS. This is the case of static failure when it lies on B to C and one AB parallel to X. It's a case of fatigue failure. That time tau A or SSA is equal to SSE. But simply, it's very simple. Modified Goodman diagram for torsional stress. And these two equations plays important role. Only what you have to do, you have to check whether the points which is coming on a line AB which is parallel to x-axis, or whether the point which is coming on or its coordinate coming on the yield line. If it's on yield line, the static failure is the criteria. You can SSY is the criteria. And when it's coming on a AB, the tau is equal to SSE. The static failure is the criteria. But that's all. Nothing more than that. Accordingly, you can decide. But how you are going to decide, for that purpose, once again, I have to show you the diagram. Now, let us see how to decide it. The same diagram I have constructed here. Only interesting thing, look at this. This is tau M, this is SSY, this is SSU, SSY, and SSY on x-axis. It's a yield line. Then SSC and SSU is the Goodman line. And this is tau mean doesn't have any effect on SSC. That's why construct SSC parallel to this, where it cuts to yield line. This point is B, or O, A, B, C is the modified. This area represent the safe region for modified Goodman diagram when subjected to torsional shear stress. Now let us see how to tackle the problem. I have drawn one line here which is inclined at an angle of theta. Look at this. This is the theta. Now this point coming on AB, I am going to say it's a fatigue failure because it's on AB. So what is the tan theta? It's a slope tau A by tau mean. That means by using tan theta is equal to slope tau A upon tau M, you can easily find out. Suppose this point is, you can say X. Suppose I am going to write here, this point is X, this point is X, and he is having the coordinate. Suppose M is the one coordinate I have located on x-axis, and another coordinate which is here, and this is A, that is amplitude. But if it's a horizontal line, you will find magnitude or coordinate SAC is nothing but E. That's why SSA becomes SAC. Try to understand. Now here, and this angle is theta. How you are going to find out theta? Tan theta or slope tan theta is equal to how? That is tau A upon tau M. Try to understand. Or in other words also, you can find out tan theta is equal to, because it's the torsional shear stress, so you can say MTA upon MT mean. You will get is equal to tan theta. You can use this equation also, no problem. Which type of load or torsional moment is given to you, accordingly tan theta is equal to MTA upon MT mean also. By using this, you will get the theta, and only no need to construct by using this. Just you have to check whether this point which is coming on AB or which is coming on BC. So I am going to locate another point. Look at this here. First of all, I will erase all these things. And once again, I will construct the another line here. Look at this. I am constructing another line here from this point, this point. Look at this. Now suppose this point is X point, another one or X1. Look at this. So what is happening? You will get two coordinate here, this point and this point. I am going to say this point is SSM and another point is this is SSA. But in this case, SSC is not is equal to SSC because this is on BC and yield line. So what you have to do in this case? So now here, and if this angle is theta, you can say 1. So in this case, when theta 1 is less than theta, so what is the criteria you can say, or you can draw here the point line, and you can say this angle is theta, and after that theta is going to increase. So you can say theta 1 is less than theta. That means the problem becomes the case of static load, and that time SSY is the criteria. Try to understand. And when this theta, if which is more than this theta 1, that means after this, so that means point is going to come on line AB. So you can say SESE or SSA is the criteria. That is particularly here. We have to solve the problem in this way. I hope you understand these things very clearly. This is about the second case when component subjected to torsional shear stress. Now let us see. I have written here some of the equation for your information. Now let us see. Now in this case, how we are going to construct it? A line OE with a slope of tan theta is constructed that I have shown. The tan theta is equal to, look at this here. Look at this. This is theta. Then tau A upon tau A. So here I have already told if it is subjected to twisting moment, or you can say MTA upon MT mean is equal to tan theta also, or torsional stresses or torsional moments also. Accordingly, you can modify the equation, and that I am going to show on this next slide. So you can say tau tan theta is equal to tau A upon tau M, or when it is subjected to maximum and minimum torsional moment. So first of all, find out MTA, that is amplitude, MT mean, by using the formula 1/2 of MT max plus MT mean. Try to understand. You will get MTA, MT mean, then tan theta. And this theta you have to check whether it's on line AB, which is parallel to x-axis, or on yield line. The same fashion you have to use for all the cases, no problem. The line AB intersects at the AX, SSM, SSA, I have already told. It divides the region of safety outside the failure region, inside the safe region, and then inside one is having the infinite life, outside having the finite life. But again, if point comes outside because of this, when subjected to fluctuating torsional shear stresses, the Ascent curve is the criteria along with modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stress. And when it comes inside, it's an infinite place. The only you have to use modified Goodman diagram along with the endurance limit that you have to determine by using approximate estimation method, that is equal to K into KB into K into KC into AC dash. So that approach we have to use here. And again, here limiting values tau A. If it's coming on A bit, tau A is equal to SSA upon FOS simply. And you can substitute SSA. But what is tau A? In general, we know that if it's a shaft, because rotating member, you will find the torsional shear stresses. And because of that, 16 MT upon pi d cube, you can substitute and find out the diameter of the shaft. SSA upon FOS. So these equations helps you to determine the diameter of the shaft when subjected to torsional shear stresses. But when the point occurs on line AB, that time it becomes the problem of static load condition, and that time SSY becomes the criteria. And by using simple elementary equations, you can design the component. Try to understand. For that purpose, you have to check whether accordingly the theta, whether it is coming on line AB or BC, that you have to check by constructing the modified Goodman diagram. Now let us see one of the simple problem associated with this topic. It gives you more, the insights in this second case when components subjected to torsional shear stresses. If you have a notebook, you can note down this problem. I am going to read it. Always in design, you have to read a problem statement carefully. You can spend more than 2 or 3 minutes and write down the given data. I am going to read it. A transmission shaft of cold drawn steel 27 mm2. It's a alloy steel, SUT 500 Newton per mm square and SYT 300 Newton per mm square. Is subjected to a fluctuating torque which varies from minus 100 Newton meter to 400 Newton meter. The factor of safety is 2.5 and expected reliability is 90%. Neglecting the effect of stress concentration, determine the diameter of the shaft, assume the distortion energy theory of the failure. Now here, read problem statement carefully. You can note down this statement. I will give you 1 or 2 minutes to write down this statement also, because transmission shaft, the shaft, and we have to find out the diameter of the shaft. Then it is a metamorphic cold drawn steel. Again here cold drawn is important because it will help you to find out the K. Now again here in this case it is asked to determine diameter of the shaft, but it is not mentioned whether for how many number of cycles. If they mention the design or find out the diameter of the shaft for 90,000 cycles or something like this, that times this case becomes the fluctuating load finite life. But in this case, just they have asked you to determine the diameter of the shaft without mentioning that. That means it's a case of infinite life problem. And why it's a fluctuating load? Why not it's a reverse load? So you will find it is subjected to fluctuating torque minus 100 Newton meter to 400 Newton meter. Look at this. If it's a minus 400 Newton meter to plus 400, then it becomes a reverse load problem of infinite life. But here it is varying from minus 100 Newton meter to 400. That means it's fluctuating case. Try to understand. That's why first of all you have to decide whether it's a case of fluctuating or reverse, or whether it's a case of finite life or infinite life. Accordingly, we can use our approaches or methods. So as per the problem statement, it's a fluctuating load and you have to determine the diameter, and it is not mentioned to determine the diameter for some, the number of cycle or million revolution. That means it's a case of infinite life problem. The infinite life is the case. That means endurance limit is the criteria. We have to determine endurance limit by using the approximate estimation method, that is AC is equal to K into KB into KC into KD into KJ into AC dash. Try to understand. That is for infinite life. And it's a fluctuating load and subjected to again which torque. That means second case, component subjected to torsional shear stresses. That approach you have to use. We have to use modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stress. So you can note down all the given data. SUT is given 500, SYT is given 300, reliability is given 90%, If OS is given 2.5, then its fluctuating torque or twisting moment is given minus 100 Newton meter to plus 400. That means it's a minimum MT minimum minus 100 and maximum MT max 400 Newton meter. And it is made up of cold drawn steel and SUT, SYT is given. So from this we can find out K. Let us see. Last time also we have solved some of the problem, but that time case was different one subjected to axial and bending stresses. This is the case of torsional shear stress. So what you have to do first of all? So first of all, we have to find, it's an infinite life problem, we have to find out the SE. To find out the SE, we should know the K, KB, KC, KD. Now in this case, in problem statement, look at this. One interesting thing is given, neglecting the effect of stress concentration. That means no need to consider stress concentration. That means don't consider the factor KD, because KD is the factor. Generally, we are stating it as a modified stress concentration factor, which is equal to 1 upon Kf, and Kf is having a relation with Notch sensitivity Q and theoretical stress concentration factor K theta to understand. So that's why neglecting the stress concentration means no need to consider Kd. So you can assume Kd is equal to 1. And again here they mention assume the distortion energy theory of failure. Distortion energy of theory of failure means, so you know, according to maximum shear stress theory, that is tau max is equal to 0.5 S, SSY is equal to 0.5 SYT. Similarly here, SSY is equal to 0.577 SYT and SSE is equal to 0.577 SE. I will explain that. Before that, find out KA, KB, KC and KD. How to find out KA? For that purpose, here it is mentioned, it is made up of, you know, the cold drawn and SUT is given 500. So you have to refer Harry Peterson chart here. By referring, it's not a Harry Peterson chart, it's a surface finish charts for different manufacturing processes and SUT. So you can use cold drawn line is given here. Then SUT on x-axis 500, you can use it. Look at this point, you will get here point K is equal to 0.79. I have referred here. This point is 0.8, but it is going to come down here near about 0.8, or sometimes you can take 0.8, no problem, but it is small, very, very small. There is difference, that's why 0.79. Then we have to determine the diameter of the shaft. It is not given. You can assume diameter in the range of 0.7, 0.5 to up to 50 mm. Second case, the 7.5 to up to D. I have already, no, you have to use the table of size factor. You know very well this table. Many times I have to discuss with you. When diameter is in the range of 7.5 to 50, the KB is equal to 0.85. Okay. Then SE dash 0.5 SET. The 0.5 into 500, you will get 250 SE dash. Then next one KC. So 90% reliability is given in the problem statement. Or again, you can refer the chart of reliability. For 50% reliability, KC is equal to 1. And as the reliability increases, value is going to decreases. And for 90% reliability, KC is equal to 0.897. So we have a 0.79 from the chart. We have a KB from this size diameter. It belongs in between 7.5 to 50 mm. Then KC for 90% reliability, KC is equal to 0.897. Then no stress concentration. No stress concentration means already it is mentioned. So don't consider KD. So you can consider KD is equal to 1. And what is AC dash? AC dash is equal to 0.5 SUT. SUT is given 500. 0.5 into 500 means you will get AC dash is equal to 250 Newton per mm square. So you will get SE. So before that, again second thing, in this case, the component or this transmissions are subjected to torque. And it's a fluctuating torque and it varies from minus 100 to plus 100. So minus 100 means MT minimum. Try to understand. Minimum, MT minimum, and MT max means 400. So what you have to do from max n means it's a case of fluctuating load. So what you have to do? You have to consider the mean twisting moment or a torque and amplitude twisting moment or a torque. So first of all, find out MT mean and MTA. How to find out MT mean? 1/2 MT max plus MT mean. The empty max 400, empty min minus 100. That's why here minus. It's a plus sign, but the empty minimum is minus 100. So you will get 150 Newton meter. Try to understand. Similarly, find out amplitude. MTA is equal to 1 half empty max minus empty min. The empty max 400 given and empty min minus 100. Minus minus it becomes plus. So 1 half 400 plus 100 you will get 250 Newton meter. Now we have a empty min, we have a MTA, we have a KA, KB, KC, KD. Now let us first of all find out SE, entrance limit. How to find out entrance limit? At the approximate estimation method, SE is equal to KA into KB into KC into KD into AC dash. And AC dash means it's a still 0.5 USUT, 0.5 into 500, 250. You can substitute all this. KA 0.79, KB for size factor here 0.85, KC 90% reliability 0.897, KD no stress concentration is equal to 1, and other thermal effect. We are not considering the thermal effect also. Other KE is also 1 AC dash 250. You can substitute. You will get AC is equal to 150.58 Newton per mm square. But again here we have asked to use distortion energy theory. And you know very well, according to distortion energy theory, SSA, entrance limit in shear, SSE means entrance limit in shear is equal to 0.577 SE. The 0.577 SE into this SE, so you will get 86.88. This is SSE. And SSY means yield stress in shear, that is 0.577 SYT. This is according to distortion energy theory. If anyone is going to ask you, use maximum shear stress theory. According to maximum shear stress theory, this SSY becomes 0.5 SYT and this SSE becomes 0.5 SE. Kindly note down this point. According to maximum shear stress theory, SSE is equal to 0.5 SE and SSY is equal to 0.5 SYT. And already we have used in many problems of the couplings. So according to this theory, you will get SSE 86 and SSY 173. Now we have a SSE, we have a SSY. Now we can construct the modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stress. Now let us consider this. I am going to construct same diagram I have constructed. SSE, SSY, that is 173.1, 173.1. I have joined this is a yield line making an angle of 45. Then I have located SSU. I have taken SSU is equal to 0.5 SET, that is 250, because it's a steel material. Accordingly, you can take, or no need to mention also for this Goodman line. Only here, what is interesting here, to construct the modified Goodman diagram for this, you have from SSU you have to draw horizontal line. So OABC is your hot. It's a modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stress. Then interesting one, first of all find out tan theta slope. The tan theta is equal to, because twisting moment or torque is given, so you can find out MTA upon MTM. The MTA you have already calculated MTA and MTM. From this equation, MT max plus MT min 1 half and 1 half MT max minus MT min. You will get MT min and MTA 150 and 250. So by using this value, you can substitute this value of MTA MT min. You will get theta 59 point this. And if I am going to construct this 59, you know this line is 45. You will get this 59. This point is going to occur on AB. So that's why this is the point. You can say this is SSA. Or SSE is equal to SSA and this point is SSM. So I am going to say this point or coordinate of this X, look at the cursor, this point is X, having X coordinate SSM, Y coordinate SSA, but it is on this line, the SSA is equal to SSE, try to understand. And this is equal to 86.88. So that's why I have written the coordinate means Y coordinate. Coordinate of X is SSE, that is 86.88. Look at this. I have located here. The SSE is equal to 86.88. So we know very well how to find out tau A. So I have already mentioned tau A is equal to SSA upon FOS. So you can substitute SSE 86.88 and FOS 2.5. You will get tau A. And but how to find out the diameter? But this tau A is equal to, I am going to write here. This tau A is equal to 16 MPa upon pi d cube. You know very well in design of shaft, tau max or tau A is equal to 16 MPa upon pi d cube. The MPa means amplitude of this torque. We have already determined 1/2 MT max plus MT minus MT main. The MPa is equal to 250 into 10 raised to 3. Why 10 raised to 3? Because it's in Newton meter. I am converting into Newton mm because other SSA it's in Newton per mm square. That's why I'm multiplying by 10 raised to 3 to this MTA. Otherwise, it's 250 Newton meter. Multiplying 10 raised to 3 will get Newton mm. Substitute this 250 into 10 raised to 3. 16 you can multiply upon pi d cube. SSA already calculated. This is equal to SSE, that is 86.88, FOS 2.5. You can substitute all this value, you will get d cube. So d is equal to, you can take the cubic root, you will get 33.21. But here standard diameter of the shaft is not 33, it's 35. So therefore diameter of the transmission shaft is equal to 35 mm. In this way, you have to solve the problem. Or you can consider, this is the one case. Suppose I am going to give the hint within 1 or 2 minutes. Suppose this angle theta, which is coming, this theta is less than 50, or you can say theta 1 is less than 59. That means you will get this point on this line. This line is yield line. That means the coordinate of these 2 points, you can say, suppose this is SSM and this is SSA. That time you have to find out this SSA and SSM because this is on yield line. So that time what you have to do, this is a straight line. You can write the equation of yield line. How you are going to write the equation? SSA upon SSE plus what? SSM upon, or directly it's a yield, it's a case of yield. For yield, SYT is the criteria. You can say SSY, and here SSM upon SSY is equal to 1 upon, or you can say is equal to 1. And this SSA you can change into tau A also. Tau A into FOS, tau A into FOS, and this SSM means tau mean into, or you can say MTA and MTM. Tau mean into FOS. So you can take common FOS and towards this side. So what you will get? Tau A upon SSY plus tau mean upon SSY. It's a yield line. That's why SSY both sides is equal to 1 upon FOS. So you can use this equation 1, and second equation for this line you can find out tan theta is equal to, this is tau A by tau M or slope, or you can say SSA upon SSM. By solving these two equations you will get the SSM and SSN, and easily you can find. It's a case of yield point or a static load case because we are considering the yield stresses here. Try to understand. In this way you can solve the problem. That's why you have to check whether the theta coming on this line or this line. Similarly, you can check for the modified Goodman diagram when component subjected to axial or bending stress also. This is the logic of this fluctuating load topic. I hope you understand. This is about the today's session. You can go thoroughly. You can solve many problems on these topics. Only 2 points remaining.